Hello, my name's Cosmic Ice, and this is gonna be my first real video. I know I made a Mirage one way back in the day, but that was some fun. I've been trying to avoid make this video for a while because I don't want this gun to get out there, but you know what? At this point, whatever. Let's have some other people use it. So what I'm going to talk about today is the Coda Sporothrix. I just renamed mine because I like the gun enough that I'll spend the plot to rename it. And this gun is, in my opinion, when built correctly, one of the best snipers, primaries, whatever you want to call it, in the game. It is most definitely not a single target menace. Well, it is, but it is not only a single target menace like you'd expect a sniper to be. And I would say there's like one thing that you can put on that makes this thing way stronger. And we'll get to that later. But so I run this always pretty much Corrosive Blast if I'm facing any armored enemies. I will couple builds. I will run a Toxic Magnetic Blast if I'm facing Corpus. Like if I'm going to do a Corpus Disruption or Void Cascade. Actually, the Void Cascade is a different one. Or if I Grineer Disruption, I would use this one. I have a specific Nova build, which is just slightly different. That's just if I want to play Survival and just spam my Molecular Prime and just bring in enemies real quick and just kill them. But I did have plenty of guns that do that. It's just not one. There's a Saryn one. Saryn one's great. Um, but I just don't particularly enjoy Saryn that much. And then I have a Void Cascade build. But the main build, and I'll show you the gameplay, is I used to use Primary Acuity back when it was first released because it was multiplicative on this gun, which means you could red crit very easily, and it was absolutely insane, like hundreds of millions, no priming, nothing, just on a headshot. They got rid of that, but multi-shot build is I think more fun anyways. So we have the standard multi-shot mod, galvanized aptitude. This thing has incredibly high base damage. This is additive, not multiplicative, unfortunately. But still, you want status chance, way more base damage. This thing already has a lot of status. You know, we're looking at 198% and 5, 6 status effects by default because it has the IPS. Super important mod, and we'll get to that later. The most important mod of the build. I like this gun specifically, I would say, because of this. I never used this thing. I used a normal Sporothrix a lot, but I only started using it once I heard this mod was going to be released. I said, this looks really interesting. Let me start using this gun. Fell in love with the gun. Definitely, I would say the most important mod of the build. If you don't have it, I think it's only like 25 plat right now. Definitely would be worth trying to pick up. But absolutely insane. Then I run Corrosive 60/60s, and then since I run Blast, here's where Coda version becomes really nice. I run Blast for AoE, so it's now single target and AoE monster. So I use a Heat Progenitor, put a Cold mod on. Now I get my Blast. I specifically want Heat Progenitor, Cold mod for the lower Blast weighting here. If I did Toxin Progenitor and then like Blast here and then Electric, then I would have higher Blast weighting. I specifically don't want that. I want higher Corrosive. And then a Ribbon. I have a lot of ribbons for this thing. I've probably spent near 3 million Kuva on ribbons. I use specifically, I like this gun a lot that I wanted to keep rolling, but crit damage, multi-shot, fire rate, the 3 stats I want. I wish this had a negative, you know, like minus zoom or something. But if you weren't gonna run this, there's a couple options. What am I looking for? I'm looking for hammer shot, or that is crit damage status chance. Fantastic stats. There is also Vital Sense if you just want more crit damage. There's Elementalist if you want more status damage, like for the blast. All these things work. Very much a flex slot. I specifically use this on the non-Coda version because the disposition was way higher, so those stats are significantly better. That replaces Vital Sense on its own. Now we'll get to why the Coda version was such a huge upgrade for this. I could not run Blast and Target Acquired at the same time. I would place this mod and I would put an Elemental, and now I have to take this off if I want to get Corrosive Blast. That was a shame. Because we'll talk about why this is such a big damage boost in a second. So, this is why the Coda version was a huge upgrade. Now I can run that same mod and get my Blast. This is just the Toxin build, so very similar. Blast still, just Toxin, magnetic capacity for just magnetic, because Corpus, you want magnetic, Toxin, both great. Same ribbon. And the Cascade build is actually the exact same as this one, just with the magnetic capacity instead of target acquired, because you don't have like crazy difficult targets. A Demolist is way harder to kill than a Thrax, so EHP wise, I'm pretty sure. So hence the higher headshot damage for the one shot at level cap, magnetic capacity, a lot more Overguard and Void Cascade. Deadhead, the mod to use. Just don't even worry. Just put Deadhead on. I use Amazon on all of them just because I like to spam, like hold, like hit fire and just hold left click. So that's what I like. I just want to make sure I don't run out of ammo. So why target acquired? Why Deadhead? I use that as Whisper. We'll get to the build now specifically. I use that as Whisper. So I just run Mirage is my favorite frame, so I use it on Mirage. Xata's Whisper, Arcane Avenger, Combat Discipline, low rank, because I don't want to kill myself on kills. So here's my source of crit. 45% is like not a whole lot, plus the 5% of the gun. That's 50%. Half the time crits. That's not great. But honestly, you don't really notice it. So Xata's Whisper, couple things. The Sporothrix is a projectile weapon with a lot of punch through, plus 3 meters of punch through. Even though it's locked here, I don't know. There's definitely a lot of punch through, which means and high status chance. So can't forget that. So those things combined is I will hit an enemy. Oh, final thing: projectile weapon, a lot of punch through, high status chance, blast radius instantly. This is where the mod is a huge benefit. The exploding instantly part, huge benefit. So what do those 4 things mean? I'll shoot an enemy, and when I hit them, I will proc avoid bubble them, super high status chance. Because I'm also AoE, plus 4 meters, plus 4 meters plus 2, plus 6 meters. Any enemy in 6 meters will also get a Xata's bubble on them. Now I have a projectile with punch through, so it's going to go through the main enemy, and because it's a projectile, it'll get turned by the Xata's bubbles. So it will just chain link through the enemies with any enemy that's nearby, and it gets pulled into a Xata's bubble. That's why it's so good. We'll see that in demonstration. So why do I want the headshot damage multipliers? Specifically Deadhead. I like base damage, but headshot damage is also very important. Xata's Whispers and headshot damage is a squared relation. So any the Xata's Whisper instance of damage. My Xata's Whisper is 50% and I shot does 100. The shot gets split into now 100 from the main shot and 50 damage from the second shot, which is the Xata's Whisper's instance, which is just whatever the main did, take half of it. That's my new instance. Now that gets a square term when it comes to headshot multipliers. So in this case, I have 60% plus 30%. It doesn't say in a passive in the top here, but there's actually a 50% extra just for aiming in. So now I have 1.4 added to my headshot multiplier squared. So the Xata's instance is an absolutely insane damage increase with headshot multiplier specifically. So that is the build. I also run. We've gone over this. This is Mirage, just max strength, duration. Don't care about the other stats. The one pain point of this gun, which is why I have a build specifically for it, is the painfully slow reload speed. The Coda version made it better. It used to be like 2.7, 2.9. This is better, but with a 9 or 11 round mag. It used to be 9 on the main one, on the original. 9 round mag, 2.7 on the original, 11, 2.5. I'm going through ammo quick, so reload speed is horrible. User experience, not horrible, not to my liking. So that's why I run this. Arcane Momentum. It's a huge, absolutely huge increase to reload speed. So that's that build. Yeah, so I get my crit source there, and that's why it's not on the actual gun, because the 5% crit chance is absolutely horrible, but it also has a base 3, not 4.2. That's because Tenacious Spawn is showing 4.2. Base 3x crit, which is great. Really high status. It's just a fantastic gun. And we'll go to show it real quick.
The multitude of creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks.
So this is a build that's pretty invested in the gun itself. Like when I use this build, I'm pretty much running around with just the I will occasionally use a secondary, whatever it is. I never touch melee. I don't really like melee in general. I just use Praetos for parkour velocity. But yeah, I'm pretty much only using the gun. But here's the reload speed. It's not my favorite. I specifically took off on my Nautilus. I don't want any cordon. I want them pulling, and I don't want them shooting because I don't want them priming with the Verglass. Well, we can talk about that later. But let's spawn in some what normal people uses a test unit, Corrupted Heavy Gunners. I just stand up here as my test point. You'll be like, okay, took a couple shots to get started, but now once we're galvanized setup, so we've got to get our stacks. Now you see that's looking pretty good. Now I got all my stacks. My crit from Arcane Avenger. Now I should shoot like one guy. Anyone in the radius from the blast just dies. Now we'll go to a slightly upgraded unit. These are pretty strong. About double the armor of the heavy gunners. Still one tap anyone that's in the radius of the blast proc from just dies. Not bad. You saw 747k slash proc there. These guys are real tough. Drakkar Manic Bombards. Very, very strong enemy. I think the strongest normal unit you can get in the Simulacrum, besides the Eximus. And I still got my stacks here, except I don't have the crit one. You'll be like, oh, so these guys are pretty strong as well. But this is still like one-shotting any of them. Even when I'm trying. And you also haven't used Xata's Whisper yet. Now we'll get to that. So, the Xatas. That was all pretty good what you just saw. Now let's just pop Xata's Whisper, which is has a nice, good interaction with Blast on the single target, but AoE doesn't do a whole lot. But now you'll see this becomes significantly better. Just like outright killing anyone in the range, radius. It gets even better when you're not on a weird angle, and now I can actually shoot. Oh, perfect example. Perfect example of not being at a weird angle, weird oblique angle, being on ground level with him, hitting the one guy, hitting him in the head, proccing Xata's bubbles on anyone near, the bullet traveling through, let's say, hit him, traveled through, hit him, now I'm proccing Xata's bubbles in a new area, but I still have 2 meters of punch through less, so keep going and whatnot. So that's the exact interaction that I'm talking about. That's the Xata's punch through high status projectile weapon. A couple other guns in the game that can abuse such a thing. Coda Hema is one of them. So that is specifically why I like why this is like a AoE monster. And now I like Mirage. Harrow is another fantastic frame to use this on due to the Covenant crit. I like Mirage specifically because I don't ADS all the time. I just hip fire it, and I can just like do that with the clones. The clones aren't doing a whole lot of damage, but they are proccing all the status effects that I want. So I can just like I don't even need to aim anymore. I can just kill enemies in waves, just holding left click. So that's, I also just like Mirage in general, but with the clones make it great. So here, you see, notice 2.7 zoom, 50% headshot damage. That goes into the Xata's squaring multiplier. So another nice little bonus. Snipers have a shot combo. This is one of the snipers that has a low shot combo. Can I reset this? I cannot. But the shot combo essentially is, this is just a flat 3.5x damage final multiplier. And you can see it goes down very slow. If I miss shots, it goes down slower. Multi-shot helps build it up. This is a great gun for the combo because it has the lowest possible sniper combo, which means it takes 1 bullet to start it, and then multiplies by 3 every time. So 1, then 3, then 9, then 27, etc. to go up a 0.5x. Maybe a lot of numbers for you, but for example, there are other snipers that require like 3 shots, or some I think take 4 to move up a combo, so it takes way longer to scale. You'll be in a long mission, and you'll be at like 4.5x at, we're talking 12, maybe 2,000 instances, which is probably 30 to 40 minutes into a mission, which just means you just get your damage multiplied by 4.5. So yeah, we can go to the Eximus now. Oh, I did not mean that. What I really want is 20 of them. Stacks up. Don't need that one deadhead. There we go. So yeah, like, it's just an AoE monster. It's single target sniper, like, on paper. Absolute AoE monster in practice. And so I use this in Disruption a lot, and you'll notice, like Demolisher, I'll just pretty much one tap every single time. And this will scale way higher than just this level 175. Even without crit, as long as I hit a Xata's headshot, it's usually just a one tap. You can see like how consistently this, see, not even crits there. So that's why this thing's an absolute monster. There's a Saryn build. I can show that one real quick.
I offer you poison of an excellent vintage.
Oh, I mean, I guess I'll show the build. Pretty much the same thing. Avenger, momentum, combat discipline, high strength. This one's slightly different in, I don't want that, I want this. I no longer run corrosive because Saryn has the augment that gives it corrosive, so just go all in on blast, get the extra elementalist, which is going to help my blast and toxin from Toxic Lash, but pretty much the same thing. Let's get that. Stacks up. But Saryn's good. Really high single target. Like if I don't kill enemy with the like main shot, they will die to the toxin proc because of how high damage this is. So how high the toxin proc will hit. Like this is a low amount because it's like probably some splash damage stuff. But if the bullet like goes through any of these enemies pretty much and it doesn't kill them, which is rare, then I will. Oh, that's a nice little demonstration. But yeah, if it goes through them and doesn't kill them, the toxin dot will be so high that it will kill them. Saryn, I just run classic 2 corrosives, parkour, casting speed. I always like casting speed on pretty much every frame, and then toxin status. I forgot to show the Mirage. Double casting speeds, that's for an entirely different build. If I may do another video on that one. Parkour velocity, I like parkour velocity, as you may notice, especially with the Praetos. Just give me that sprint and give me that parkour velocity. 1 green for corrosive. Fine, I don't really need more. Mirage does a lot of damage. And then I always run this because I have a couple builds that use combat discipline. So this is just my way of making sure I never die. Because if I take this off, I sometimes have died killing enemies and then just dying myself, even with low rank combat discipline. Like in this case, like a rank 2, rank 1, rank 0, like enough kills and not enough health orbs, and yeah, you may die. So I'll show this. I'll take this into a mission I really like to use this in Disruption. Disruption is my favorite game mode. I know a lot of people like Cascades, but I like the challenge of Disruption. I'm going to bring back actually my Nautilus stuff. Specifically, I want Assault mode. I care less for Cordon, so I'll leave it off for now. But I run this as an entirely support. Guardian to help me keep me alive. Manifold Bond to essentially just keep Guardian going. Tenacious Bond, because just I want more crit. Pretty much in every gun I use is a crit gun, so let's just use that. Obviously Vacuum, this. Reinforced Bond, because I want the permanent fire rate. These two are just gun buffing mods. And obviously this to get Reinforced Bond. On my Verglass, I have a Ribbon. I just rolled for crit chance. This has got decent rolls. I just wanted the above 50% crit chance for Tenacious Bond. You have to use Point Strike and a Ribbon. Unless your Ribbon's got a stupid high crit chance, like 200 and something. You can do it without this mod, but I don't. Two Vigilante mods, I kind of run it just for the enhanced crits, and fire rate and multi-shots are pretty good stats. This is just a Corrosive Cold Magnetic, specifically as there's an important target, like a Demolist. Let me instantly get 10 cold procs on them, slow them to a halt, so I can headshot them without even having to do anything. I don't have to switch weapons. I don't have to Magus lockdown, just like that. Magnetic and Corrosive, obviously, for the respective Corpus or Grineer armor target. So this is just support Nautilus build. The other guns don't really matter. Like I said, I always use Praetos for movement speed. It's kind of hard to find a gun that pairs well with Xata's Whisper that isn't stomped on without Nourish. This is kind of one of them, but I'm not going to talk about that one today. I have my favorite testing bed. This map kind of sucks until you get a good tile set, in which case it's absolutely fantastic. And you can get like hour and a half level cap disruptions, which is kind of on par-ish with Void Cascade. See why I already like parkour velocity. I'm just rolling everywhere. Disruption, they always start in the second room. It's not a horrible tile set.
You don't get the goods ever. So the bleeders Allied Soul Detective will try to kill you.
You kind of see like enemies just nearby. If they're close enough, this gun gets so much better with a higher enemy density mission. We can show that in like a mod survival after.
Specifically designed for the tenors. Don't you worry though. I've got some workarounds. Conduit keys are carried by high-ranking muckety mucks. Knock them down. See what they've got. First key. Right. Find a matching.
But the punch through makes it pretty helpful that you can like kill Demolish through walls and whatnot.
Don't let them near the conduit.
For example, that I started killing through the door. I didn't one-shot him because I probably didn't headshot him through the door for the first shot, and he also wasn't primed by Verglass, which I'll show in the next demo. But this is why I like the hip firing fact. I don't have to go for headshots. Oh, lost my status. Explains not one shot. So this is why I like Verglass. Because he slows them when he's... Hello? It's weird. Why did he not shoot the demo? But... Let's try this guy. Gonna shoot him, see, he slows them. Missed the headshot. Fantastic. Well, when you run like the Xatas and you don't run like a like the fact that I'm running Xatas and not like a Nourish Eclipse thing or something, headshot becomes super important for those beefy targets. See how see the AoE capability of that? Keep him alive. slow him. That'll pretty much happen to level cap. Like,
We just got
Verglass will slow him. Slow him, start armor strip, and he'll die to one headshot. Like, pretty much any level you can think. This thing has just insanely high damage. Specifically keeping that guy alive because I expect that guy to drop me a key right now. Yep.
Here we go.
Probably drop me a key too. Yep. Pick that up. Okay.
We're about due
What?
for more of
I
those
was gonna say, where'd my key go?
interference routines. Demo units.
Energy
taken.
drain. Oh, don't like that one. Gotta get my stacks back. Hey, stop shooting him. Shoot him. Just won't show you. Missed. But, I'm gonna try to kill the one without Vergas priming. Gotta show you don't need it.
Demo units looking to depart this mortal coil and take you with it. Keep it clear of that conduit.
Don't think I hit the head there. No, Verglass. No, he didn't. Yeah. See, I don't even have Arcane Avenger. I don't think on that or Verglass priming. So no crit. Oh, I mean, I think I had the one instance of crit. No crit and no priming, and he still died with a headshot. Like, it's just insanely high damage as long as you hit that headshot. Which is why I like the Verglass prime, because that really helps it. Really helps to make sure you don't spend effort. I don't have to do that Magus lockdown stuff. So. I'm gonna have a mission after this, but
How's that feel?
I don't have to do the Magus lockdown stuff, so I can do it quicker. Really? Yeah, let's go to Mod Survival.
Another round in ya?
Higher enemy density mission. On 4-player like Fissure, this is an absolute blast. The enemy density is so high that you can just like your shots, your single bullet pull will just kill like 20 enemies.
We've got as much as we
The solo disruptions are not a very enemy dense mission. Duo's much better, at least. But you've already seen the AoE capabilities in the Simulacrum against enemies that are probably tougher than the Demolists up to a good level. Like those Manic Bombard Eximuses are no joke. Really are no joke, so. And the Thraxes are probably significantly weaker than those enemies as well.
Underestimate them at your peril.
They have just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support capsules your way.
I doubt I'll even need to ADS for anything of this. I can just try to just do this the whole time. I'm gonna go to a better room. Sorry, sucks. How was I hit enemies? This one's not bad. Alright, let's watch the destruction here.
Life support on the
Like-
way.
Alright, let me do it through a wall as well. I'll wait for bottom to spawn, come down. Price is right. Come on down. Alright, now through a wall. If I can. No, I won't be able to. But, like, that's the punch through. I have clips of killing Demolisher, like, across the map through the wall. Just punch through just be like that. Projectile.
Life support capsule to the area.
Projectile weapons with punch through are really fun with Xata's Whisper. But you see what I mean? Like, I don't even need to ADS for these enemies. I can just do that. And in fact, the non-ADSing is actually, Mirage specifically, is actually better AoE clear, ignoring the fact that you lose damage from the headshot. They're going to die anyways, just because you have 3 clones that are not shooting straight. Because it's only accurate when you shoot straight, so you get a good spread. I want the Acolyte to spawn because I want to show you, like, this thing's good against Acolytes too. Status gun, which you'd be like, oh, not that good against Acolytes. But it is. I'll also go to Nova after to, because that was for survivals and whatnot. That's a lot more fun. I would not use Mirage for survival, honestly. Well, not this build, anyways. Just much more fun Mirage Survival builds. If you're wondering how I have like pretty much no defensive mods and not dying, that's a combination of 2 things. That's Guardian, Manifold Bond, and Movement. Oh, and Mirage Columns, they do a great job as well. And this is going to be a super high KPM because I'm not like camping in the room and bringing them all in. I'm kind of just running around Maniac. Trying to get an Acolyte spawn. Then I'll go to Nova and show you that one. That's way more fun for survival. Where are my enemies? Yeah, I think this is just overall a really fun and a really satisfying and a most importantly insanely effective weapon. Like a proper setup, I'd be shocked if you can find an enemy that can survive a single headshot. It just really is stacking damage multipliers, headshot damage, Xata's Whisper. Blast is specifically good against on the AoE. Like you can run this thing with like gas, or there's the Acolyte I've been waiting for it. You can run this thing with like gas or something. It's very good too, but I just like the crit build. The crit blast build. So, what a one-shot him, except he did his nice little annoying roll for immunity tidal wave. But yeah, about to go extract, and then I can show the Nova, the actual fun version of the survival one. Mirage is really fun in mod, but it's a different build. I prefer for other things for the survival. Oh my. Void's dash is too good occasionally.
Your will was greater. This is good.
What's her name? Is it horrible KPM? Yeah. Like 100, which is pretty bad, but I wasn't really trying to get high numbers. I'm not gonna say by no means this Sporo is the best gun for this Nova high KPM survival. I can personally hit it with higher with other ones, but it's just a much more fun way if you're gonna do this. So this is similar to Mirage. I specifically want high duration for a large molecular primary, just keep enemies in. Then Xata's Whisper, Null Star for damage reduction, adaptation for more. Just keep my Null Star primed up and more duration. So. Blast and Xata's Whisper are specifically good with molecular primes interactions, with them being taxied through the explosion.
Their rage is vehement.
This is actually a pretty good room to start.
Give them all warriors death.
Life support has been cut off.
So I'll stay here for a second, see if it...
Hold on. I'm sending auxiliary life support.
Oh, this would have been much better if I actually had Cordon, but no, we're gonna... You can already see, like, explosions go crazy on this one. This is not a crit one, by any means. You can see, like, I'm killing enemies over there without... You know, I'm not even aiming there. But yeah, so this is, because it's not a crit, it's slower. I have reload speed on the Ribbon. Like, the Ribbon's like toxic, or cold, reload, multi-shot or something like that, so pretty basic stats. Not high in any of them. I just want cold for the blast. Fine with my progenitor element, and then reload speed because I'm not running a crit build. I can show the build for this one after because I forgot beforehand. But this is a much more fun. Especially if I had Nautilus Cordon, that'd be substantially better. You know what? Let's do that actually. Why not? We're gonna do this, might as well do this proper. Yep. By no means don't need it, I just think this is way more fun. So pretty much same thing. Corrosive Blast, Elementalist for more blast damage. Magnetic. So Corrosive from here, Blast from Cold plus the Progenitor. Magnetic, just might as well. Let's have some fun. Obviously that mod, and then just more blast explosions. I'm not specifically going for like super high single target. Xata's Whisper isn't used for the one shot of a single target anymore. I'm now using it to buff up my blast and taxi over to molecular prime and such things.
Accept your death, and you may yet avoid it.
I don't think I want this room though. It's not horrible.
They have just shut
I
down
want the circle
all
room,
systems.
which is
I'm
the hardest to
sending life
find,
support
but so
capsules
good.
your way.
Let's just cast that. Nope, forgot about that. I need high enough parkour velocity to get through that. I have a feeling I'm finding extraction over here. What the? Oh, this tile set sucks. Truly. There we go. And yeah, you can see the Xata's Whisper duration is just absolutely insane with this. This is much more fun.
Get ready for a capsule.
This is why I wanted Cordon and this circle group in particular. Because this is a lot more fun. And yeah, I don't like you need to ADS for any of this. I think the circle room in general is just by far the best for survival if you're gonna camp for the strategy with Nova. Cordon just makes this much better as well. And because I have adaptation and damage reduction from my particles, null-star particles, I can just take that. Take that Jade Light Eximus. So this is what I mean by Xata's Whisper and Blast get taxed into the molecular prime explosion. You can see some chain explosions. is what I like. This is where the satisfaction. For 5 minutes, see how many kills I can get.
Life support incoming.
It's interesting to see where Coda pulls enemies sometimes, but sometimes it's to the left, sometimes it's to the right. But this is the, because it's proximity status, Manic Bombard just keeps resetting Coda's cooldown. That's why it just keeps on yoinking, yoinking, yoinking. With a gun that doesn't proc a lot of status effects, you won't really get that. Oh, I stood in that for way too long. Let's get some headshots and bring my helmets back. It's not just blatantly sitting at again. I like to keep proc it too high, and then I didn't have a rolling guard to cleanse the status. I tried to let my adaptation stacks tank it, but when you're just sitting on it, let the heat proc get too high, even the 99% DR isn't gonna save me. That's okay. I'm not like one-shotting enemies anymore. That's like that heavy gunner Eximus. I don't have the crit. I don't have the higher single target damage. It's more meant for AOE explosion fun. Just exactly what you're seeing right here. And I'm not going for headshots, but wait. Shot combo's only 3. Shot combo doesn't go up on snipers if you're not ADSing. You can see I'm at 71, right? I'm gonna keep shooting by not ADSing. Now we'll see. 67, like still going down, you know. But if I do this, I'm at 64, right? Hit some enemies. Multi-shot plus Xata's multi-shot punch nerve. I actually don't think no punch nerve affects it, but multi-shot definitely does. I'll leave actually the Acolyte. Which I'm surprised you haven't spawned yet, but like 5 minutes, 1200 kills. This is a, like I said, the Mirage one isn't particularly a survival build. It's cascade, disruption, things like that. Actually, no idea why the Acolyte hasn't spawned yet. A lot of kills, and it's past 5 minutes. He's slacking on it. Oh, okay. I think he's gonna die to a slash proc. Yep. No, Blitz Eximus killed my Nautilus. There's you. Acolyte. Even without Nautilus, you see it's still Blast, Xata's doing the work for me. Still does Acolyte pretty well. I'll head out in 7 minutes. So, see, this gun has a lot of versatility, and that's why I would say it's one of my top 3 favorites. I don't know, I would say it was number 1. A couple of the guns in the game I really enjoy. Videos on those. But I want to do this one first, because I rarely see this mentioned in, like, any best weapons lists. It's always in Carnage and whatnot, but I'll be honest. You'll find a gun that struggles to do single target AoE as well as this thing does with the same build. So very versatile. I know Moog. I think Moog's a fantastic maneuver. I know he in his recent top weapons list mentioned it. This in the Comarex. I have a Comarex. I like Comarex too. Just I think way better and way more fun. It's past 7 minutes and I'm still here. But yeah. So, I actually don't know if I should ribbon on this, so I'll do that real quick. But just about 8 minutes where I was looking for a room half the time and 1,800 kills. So 230 KPM when I'm looking for a room for the first minute, which isn't bad. But I think I don't know if I did. But cold reload fire rate. I just think honestly fire rate on like a ribbon is just always so nice because then you don't have to mod it ever. Hence why I also like this guy. I just getting fire rate without modding it and taking a mod slot is just super useful because fire rate's, if not a very effective stat, one of the most fun stats in the game. And reload speed just because I'm not using arcane momentum. Is that what it's called? Arcane momentum reload speed because I'm not using that. But again, this doesn't need to be a ribbon. Slot a reload mod here, a cold mod. You know, you got. I wouldn't put that one. You know, rhyme rounds. Heck, you can put that if you want. You can put like fast hands, whatever you want to do to get reload. Take off elementalist if you want to put reload and cold. Whatever you want to do. Very versatile. But yeah, I just wanted to put this gun out there. Unfortunately, it's one of those guns that requires, I would say, heavy investment. A lot of forma. I have 5 on this one. I have 11 on my original, but I definitely have reformatted this thing a few times. So, yeah, you know, requires a lot of investment. I mean, then like you build for it, you put the combat discipline, you put the arcane avenger, you sacrifice both your arcane slots. You know, there's no molt augmented here. There's no Aegis. You're putting them both with a gun, so you're relying on other ways to survive, and even on Mirage, taking clips off and putting Xata's Whisper. Because if you had both, that'd be absolutely insane. But yeah, so that's the build. Hope you guys enjoyed. One of my favorite weapons, easily top 3. I would also say it's one of the strongest in the game. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.